And Odysseus of many counsels answered him, saying, My lord Alcinous, most notable of all the people, if ye bade me tarry here even for a year, and would speed my convoy and give me splendid gifts, even that I would choose, and better would it be for me to come with a fuller hand to mine own dear country, so I should get more love and worship in the eyes of all men, whoso should see me after I was returned to Ithaca. And Alcinous answered him, saying, Odysseus, in no wise do we deem thee, that we look on thee, to be a knave or a cheat, even as the dark earth rears many such broadcast, fashioning lies whence none can even see his way therein. But beauty crowns thy words, and wisdom is within thee, and thy tale, as when a minstrel sings, thou hast told with skill the weary woes of all the Argives and of thine own self. But come, declare me this, and plainly tell it all. Didst thou see any of thy godlike company who went up at the same time with thee to Ilios, and there met their doom? Behold, the night is of great length, unspeakable, and the time for sleep in the hall is not yet. Tell me, therefore, of those wondrous deeds, and I could abide even till the bright dawn, so long as thou couldst endure to rehearse me these woes of thine in the hall. And Odysseus of many counsels answered him, saying, My lord Alcinous, most notable of all the people, there is a time for many words, and there is a time for sleep. But if thou art eager still to listen, I would not for my part grudge to tell thee of other things more pitiful still, even the woes of my comrades, those that perished afterward, for they had escaped with their lives from the dread war cry of the Trojans, but perished in returning by the will of an evil woman. Now, when the holy Persephone had scattered this way and that the spirits of the womenfolk, thereafter came the soul of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, sorrowing, and round him others were gathered, the ghosts of them who had died with him in the house of Aegisthus and met their doom. And he knew me straightway when he had drank the dark blood, yea, and he wept aloud, and shed big tears as he stretched forth his hands in his longing to reach me. But it might not be, for he had now no steadfast strength nor power at all in moving, such as was aforetime in his supple limbs. Oh, okay, we're right back in it. Wow, whiplash. And Agamemnon has now entered the chat. Agamemnon, who we have heard of so much in this story, and obviously the Iliad, but we haven't read that yet. The man who is mostly the reason the Trojan War existed, coming forth to speak to Odysseus, crying. He's crying. He's so sad. He recognizes Odysseus the second that he drinks the blood. I would imagine, I'm painting this out in my own head here. I told you I like scary movies. I don't expect all of you to like them. I get the repulsion a lot of people have for them. There's this one called Insidious, this franchise called Insidious. And there's this concept in there that a living person can kind of escape their physical body. You can call it astral projecting. You can call it, the soul departing from the body and entering into a kind of purgatory state. And when that happens, all of the dead souls or demons, the people that are floating around this liminal space, see that body as a vessel, an escape pod back into the land of the living, and they're all attracted to it. That's kind of how I'm envisioning the blood here. All of these shades have appeared, and they maybe smell the blood, they sense the blood, and they're all attracted to it. They're all walking toward it because they want the opportunity to speak once again. Either that or Persephone, who is mentioned here, might be kind of like the administrator of dead souls. Because as Odysseus jumps back into his story, says, Now when holy Persephone had scattered this way and that the spirits of the womenfolk, thereafter came the soul of Agamemnon. Now, are we to assume that Agamemnon is just roaming around and after the women are scattered, he sees Odysseus and approaches? Or is this like, okay, the women folk have had your turn and now like a stage director going, Agamemnon, hit your cue in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I think it's worth maybe just doing a little background dossier on Persephone as well. It's a name you hear a lot in Greek mythology. I think a lot of people get it confused with Orpheus and Eurydice. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Or at least I used to get it confused that way. I guess I shouldn't put my own insecurities on other people. But Persephone is a goddess. She is the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. And her basic story goes a little something like this. No, I didn't mean to say it that way. Just her basic story goes like this. When Persephone is young, she's gathering some flowers, and Hades, as we know, the god of the underworld, bursts up from the underworld and abducts her. This is sanctioned a little bit by Zeus, who has secretly permitted Hades to take Persephone as his wife, but in true mythological fashion, neither Persephone nor Demeter agreed to this. Men gonna be men, and that sucks. Demeter goes searching for Persephone, and in her grief and anger, prevents all the crops from growing, threatening humanity with starvation should she not find her daughter, because she is the goddess responsible for grain and the earth's fertility. Seeing that, literally everyone on Earth is about to die, Zeus intervenes and orders Hades to release Persephone. But before she leaves, Hades gives her a pomegranate seed, which you may remember. And this binds her to the underworld because she's eaten food from there, and therefore she cannot leave it permanently. So a compromise is reached where Persephone spends part of the year with Demeter and part with Hades in the underworld as queen of the dead. When she returns to Demeter, the earth becomes fertile again, and when she goes below, Demeter grieves and fertility recedes. That gives birth essentially to, the very simple idea that when Persephone goes back underground, winter comes. It's a bit more nuanced than that, but that's the basic myth that you might all know. Now, the Odyssey, to my knowledge, though we still have a little bit more ahead of us, never tells that story. You're going to find this in Hesiod, particularly in Theogony. But Persephone's role here in the Odyssey is, while she is part of the underworld as queen of the dead, and therefore has the active power here to kind of guide these shades to and from and around and above and below Odysseus. Through Odysseus? We haven't seen that yet. No promises. Okay, I did my own little reference book today. Maybe tomorrow, as we go more into the dead people that Odysseus is meeting, we'll go into the 1967 Greek Myths and Legends book that I have here. So, join me here tomorrow as we continue Book 11. Until then, okie dokie, peace out! Odyssey is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. The show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Odyssey, written by Homer. Theme song by Neuroflow. You can support this show and other shows like it by going to patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.